open up to questions.
What did you say to the boys after that?
Oh, look, we're obviously a long way off our best. It was always going to be a hard game to really get up for. Just not for any reason other than the fact that we've been so up for a game against Samoa, and that was such a big occasion for us. Then we got right up again for a game against New Zealand, and that was obviously a massive occasion for us before and after the game, and it just drained you. And as I said, it was always going to be a difficult one, no matter who we played for that reason. I spoke about that, but I also spoke about the fact that we've just won a quarter-final at a World Cup, something that Tonga's never done. We've never been in a quarter-final before. Gives us an opportunity to go through and play in a semi-final against either England or PNG. And the Prime Minister's already been quoted as saying it's the greatest moment in Tonga's history and Tonga's sporting history. And it's certainly a massive achievement for us and something we can be really proud of.
What did you think of their disallowed try? Did you think it was a shepherd, or what did you think?
Yeah, that's a shepherd every day. Yeah, you can't stop in the line, and he very clearly affected Akuma being able to get to that tackle. So that's no try every single week in the NRL. Look, I thought there was a lot of things out there. I'm certainly not going to need some clarification around the ruck and around the 10 metres, because I thought. In the NRL week in, week out, there's a lot of things that are penalties, but that's certainly something I'll clarify with the refs through the week.
Sika, a bit of a fright for the boys today. A bit scary at times.
Yeah, it was, mate. It was a good wake up call, actually. Just reminding us that we need to be on our game every week. Even though come out and they play really tough. And, we done well, just hang in there.
Kristian, you talked about obviously it was tough to get the team up for today, so how do you get them up for a semi-final next week?
I don't think that's going to be a drama at all. A semi-final, we've certainly had a little bit of a lull, and sometimes not playing your best and just being able to scrape through a win, certainly makes you refocus a little bit more for the next week as well, and know that you need to improve and need to be a bit better. And our blokes, it almost feels like a losing dressing shed in there, to be honest. Our blokes all realise that we're well off the mark today in terms of what we can be, and we've got to be a lot better. And I'd expect to get to Auckland next week. I don't know what Mount Smart holds, but it's got to be 25 to 30,000, and I reckon it's going to be 25 to 30,000 Tongans. And we certainly want to encourage everyone to get there, and that's going to be outstanding. And that's something that's really going to find some energy out of the boys as well.
There was no complacency from the players heading into today. It wasn't that.
Well, I don't think so. No, I certainly didn't sense that through the week, and I haven't sensed that in my conversations with any players. Again, we just weren't quite prepared for the game to be as tough as it was today. I don't think mentally. Looking back in hindsight, anyway, that's the way I feel. There's a lot of things in there, a lot of 50-50s, and a lot of they certainly had some luck with a couple of tries as well. When we had some real dominance in the game, and those things can really swing a game in an opposition's favour, and you also get some energy and some confidence out of that, and that's certainly what Lebanon did. And I've got to say, they were outstanding today. Lebanon, they really played well. They threw the ball around, they offloaded a lot. I think they made 2 errors, maybe 3 for the entire game. They were right up for that, and they deserve a lot of credit for making a real game of it. He's a good little player. He's very crafty, he's very smart, he gets away with a bit. There was a definite rake on Andrew Fafita. He did a really good job for him. His kicking game was outstanding, and he certainly had us wondering what he was going to do next at times.
Can you quantify the amount of improvement that's going to be necessary next week?
Yeah, I think if you look at where we were this week from last week, that's the amount of improvement we're going to need to find again. Last week, we certainly could have been better in the first half with a little bit of ill discipline, which led to all of New Zealand's tries and all of their field position. But outside of that, we were really, really good, and really good in a lot of areas, both with and without the ball. And we just didn't quite have that same tough mentality and that quite the same intensity about us tonight. But again, there'll be no dramas getting that back next week.
Sika, the boot was on the other foot before kick-off. You guys stepped over halfway and they advanced on you.
Yeah, we just it was the opposite of last week. And, we were just excited and really pumped about Sika go, and we just crossed the line, but we didn't do it on purpose. We just like I said, just in a moment, and we didn't focus on that line, and we just accidentally crossed it.
That's just Joey got a bit excited, I think.
Yeah, I think Joey jumped in front of Saliva really and crossed that line first, so we just followed.
What shape are you in physically for next week? You got any injury worries or?
Oh, look, there's some battered and bruised bodies there. A lot of our blokes have just played 30 odd weeks of NRL and had a couple of weeks break, and they're back into some really, really tough games of footy. And you look at our last 3 weeks in particular, Samoa, New Zealand and today, really physical games, really tough games. So yeah, there's some battered and bruised bodies. I'd certainly expect Penny Terapo and Siwa Takiaho to be available again next week, and they're both really good ones to bring back in. And we're going to have a sit down and see how they are, and have a look at the makeup of the side as well. But I'd expect that next week we've got just about everyone available, even though they might need a little bit of modifying early in the week.
Do you watch tomorrow's game as a group tomorrow, or do you leave it to everyone to watch it themselves?
I don't know about our travel. That's all.
Right.
I'm not sure. I haven't looked at next week at all, to be honest.
Sika, what does this mean for Tongans everywhere to have you guys into the semi-final? Do you think?
No, it's massive, mate. It's obviously you've seen the support over the last few weeks, and this is probably the furthest that any Tonga sports team has gone, and the sports is only going to get bigger and bigger. Our nation are really proud people, and as you can see in the past few weeks, they turn up to every game, win or lose, they always support Tonga teams.
Do you think you guys might have started something here with players wanting to honour their ancestry and play for a nation like Tonga rather than say maybe choosing one of those first tier nations?
I'd like to think so. If players like Jason, like Andrew, had to come back, if Samoa do the same, Fiji do the same, the Pacific teams will be really strong, and the rugby league will just be strong in general, internationally.
What do you think, Kristian? Looking forward after this is all over, how do we sort of keep this momentum? How do you guys keep this momentum going and keep Tonga a strong league playing nation?
Yeah, look, I've been asked that a few times. It's the same answer every time, but it needs some attention from both the NRL and the International Rugby League, and that means it needs some financial assistance. The way we keep it going is we need to be able to play games. That costs money. You also need to be able to make it attractive for players to stay with what's considered a tier 2 nation, as opposed to taking some massive financial benefits to go to a tier 1 nation. So the biggest advertisement for the fact that we need to put some attention to the Pacific Islands footy is the fact that out of 8 teams left in the quarterfinals, 4 of them are from the Pacific Islands: us, Samoa, Fiji, PNG. Certainly where the growth is, certainly where the improvement is, and it certainly needs some attention.
Since you raised it, what did you think of what Matt Parrish said about the island countries banding together and demanding better conditions and all that sort of stuff?
Look, there's always a way to go about it. I think essentially most of what I did read his article. I think essentially most of what he said was headed in the right direction. He probably didn't necessarily word some of it right, but he's certainly headed in the right direction with most of his comments. And I'm certainly not going to sit here and say that we need to have industrial action or anything like that. That's not what I think.
Yeah.
But I think we've got enough momentum here at the moment, and we've got up and we've beaten a tier 1 nation, and that says a hell of a lot. And there's enough momentum, with both with what we've done and with the way our crowd and PNG's crowd in particular have really supported their teams. I mean, if you take us and PNG out of the World Cup, there's some pretty poor crowds. And some pretty poor interest at times as well. And on the back of those 2 nations, there's been incredible crowds, incredible scenes, passion, pride, all the things that you want in footy games. So everything about it says that we need to be thinking of ways that we keep getting it stronger and stronger.
That call from the time in the end, was that the team, or did you hear that he said it was the greatest sporting history?
No, he must have said that in a box or something, because about 5 people come running down to tell me at the end of the game.
Okay.
Last week.
No, tonight.
Tonight,
Yeah.
He's here in the box.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, he was on our bus.
Oh wow.
I think he won the election on Thursday and got here Friday.
It's true.
Any more questions?
Thanks, guys.
Good. Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Might just have a couple of minutes.
Yeah, that's fine.